Welcome back to the Aberdeen series. In today's episode, we have a big European game as well as a very important league match. But the main thing I'm excited to cover is how well we've been doing. I won't spoil it, but there might be a chance we can actually push for a European trophy this season. Hello everyone, Jake here. Welcome back to the Aberdeen series. Hope you're all doing well. As I mentioned in that intro, we are on fire. I'll show you why in a second. And even though I'm half joking when I say we could potentially go for a European trophy, I suppose we are technically in contention. Before we get into all of that though, if you guys could keep showing your support on the series, I'd massively appreciate it. It's really helping. Every like that you're doing, it's helping push the series in front of as many people's eyes as possible. And I think in terms of a series that we've had on the channel, this one has had the best retained viewership in terms of people coming back episode after episode, and it's your guys' support hitting all those buttons and commenting that's putting it in front of people's eyes in the YouTube algorithm and us getting more people on board, and it's great to see. So thank you for that. If you could keep it up and hit all of those buttons, I'd massively appreciate it. And to you people, I'll put the percentage on screen right now who still haven't subscribed despite being this many episodes into a series. I've hoped I've done enough by now to earn that click, so if you could hit that button, I'd massively appreciate it as we get close to 14,000 subscribers. I'm out of breath, I've done enough plugging, let's get into it, shall we? How well have we been doing? Well, the answer is very good. You last saw us play, where did you see us? It was the Lazio game, right? Where we lost to Lazio and then beat Hearts. Since then, you can see a lot of greens in a row. Yes, we did lose to Rangers away, not the end of the world, a 1-0 loss and a match we'd expect to lose. Then we had FC23 in our Conference League group, which we were assumed to be worse than. I predicted it was going to be Lazio, 20 and then us in the group, and we would hope if we could steal some points off of 20, we might be okay. We decided to beat them 3-0 away in a fairly even game actually. We just took our chances and Keely Root's goal was phenomenal. We then beat Dundee at home in the league in the new firm derby. We then beat Kilmarnock 3-0 and also Motherwell 2-0 away from home. We then played 20 again in the Conference League and beat them 3-0. It only gets better though because we drew to St Mirren after a bit of tired legs were playing in that match. Then we played Lazio, who of course we got beat by in the last episode 3-2, actually looked pretty good against, but then, off camera, we beat them 4-1 in a dominant performance. A bunch of different goal scorers from around the pitch, a lot of great goals, and that 4-1 win hasn't just put us into that qualification stage of our Conference League group with one game to go. We've actually qualified as first place in our group, which is exceptional. We go straight through into the round of 16, and we'll hope we'll get an easy draw there and can maybe make the quarterfinals of the Conference League, and then who knows what could happen. The fact that we've proved ourselves in 2 games against Lazio and also FC20 is very impressive. Today, we're playing the worst team in the group, Sofia, and we'll be hoping that Lazio could get knocked out and we won't have to deal with them later in the competition. But we're doing very well on the Conference League front. Every match that we win, every stage that we get through, we get prize money in, which is going to make our lives a lot easier. And I'd even go as far as saying if we were to make it to, say, the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, that could take a year off of this series in terms of what we want to achieve, because it puts us in a way better financial state. That will include more transfer budget, better players that we can bring in, and elevate us way quicker than I would have expected. So very happy to be making it out of this group with a brilliant goal difference as well. Winning 4 of our 5 games is an exceptional result. And then in the league, we're constantly winning, and it's put us into the point where, yes, we are behind Rangers and Celtic, as you'd expect, but we are currently above Hearts and Hibs, as well as St Mirren, who are all pretty close to us, but we've played 1 game less. If we can win our match today against Motherwell, who are sitting in 10th, we will be 3 points clear of the chasing pack and solidifying ourselves slowly as the 3rd best team in the league, which was our step this year. I want to be 3rd best and I want to go as far as possible in the Conference League and the Cups. We've got much better squad depth this season and things are going very well in that sense. Everyone on the team is performing great. The outstanding player is for sure Duke, who this season has scored 10 goals in 11 league appearances. And I think something crazy now, like he's close to 20 in all comps. There you go, 20 goals in all competitions. Darnell Fisher has been brilliant. Fabrizio Diaz also has been great alongside Cafu. All of our signings this year are working out well. The only issue is I might have given too many players star player in their contract to get them in, and we now have a bit of an uproar where we've got a few players who are just making sure they're playing games. They're not upset yet. I've promised them game time, so we need to make sure Gagnon, Mansour and Stewart are playing well to try and keep the positive atmosphere at the club up. I don't want to lose that. And also last episode I mentioned I was definitely getting rid of Gagnon at centre back but he has actually been really good recently, and for that reason, might try and hold on for him, might let it be water under the bridge. Maybe we'll forgive him for disrespecting us as manager and keep him on. Plus, there is a few issues in terms of contracts expiring where I'm looking at players and I'm thinking, I'm not sure I actually want to keep them desperately. I'll show you who we're talking about. So we have got a few loanees in and a few trialists, but Ben Arthur will be going this season. He's old. He's still playing very well, to be fair to him. But at 36 years of age, he's probably going to retire soon on a decent wage. Let's get him out at the end of the year and let some young players come through. The same for Dale Stephens, doing what he can, but he's on a pretty high wage. He's also pretty old now. And really, I think his time's up in an Aberdeen shirt at the end of the year. Anthony Stewart is an interesting one, though. This is a man who I believe is either club captain or vice captain. However, at this point, despite him still being very good, he's 31. We've got better centre-back options. I've also got some players on my radar that I think will be better than him that we could bring in. He also wants to be one of the most important players at the club. I just think for them kind of wages, we can get him off the wage bill and let him go at the end of the year, or maybe even sell him in January, because we do have a new player coming in. Same goes for our goalkeeper, Roos, who I'm thinking, yes, he's been very good for us, but maybe we could get a better player than him. That might be a bit of wishful thinking, but I'll keep an eye out on the transfer market. And with that being said, we should probably get into the 2 games today because we've got a lot to get through. Motherwell, though, is our first match, and I'm hoping that'll be a win. Just to give you guys a look at the squad we're going for, it's going to be Roos, Richardson, Stewart, Gagnon, Mansior, Diaz, Zavronek, who's been playing better recently as well, Ross McCrory, Duke, Vinny, and Miofsky as our team. Hopefully, with that side out, we can get a pretty comfortable win. But there is something that I need to talk about, and I want you guys to help me. If anyone's done a save with Aberdeen or with a Scottish club that's more than 2 seasons in. The reason I'm saying this is I got a message sometime a couple weeks ago to say at the start of January in this save, it came up as an email in our inbox that like 5 or 6 key first team players, I say key first team, squad players let's say, might struggle to get work permits, and they're going to have to apply for work permits even though they're already players at the club. I don't quite know how it works, whether there's been a rule change and for that reason these foreign players basically are going to need work permits, but it did come up and say that we wouldn't be able to get work permits with the majority of these players because they're not on a high enough wage. I'm talking people like Ramadani in the middle, and I don't know what to do because if their work permits run out, we've got them on contracts, we're going to have to sell them, and it was 5 or 6 players, as I mentioned. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but we might struggle to give these guys work permits, and that would be really unfortunate if so. I'm kind of hoping it blows over, and when we appeal, we will get the work permits, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm really hoping we don't have to deal with anything like that because we are flying at the minute. And speaking of flying, there is Duke flying down the right wing for his 21st goal of the season. Miofsky plays it in. So far in this game, there's been a chance for Motherwell, but after that, it looks like it's just been us. And it's great football to play it through the middle. Miofsky with a great pass there to Duke, who finishes well. He could have squared it maybe, but he took his chance and put it into that bottom left corner to put us 1-0 up after only 20 minutes on the clock. Possession is in our favour, chances fairly even to be honest, but Duke took his well and we are flying. 30 minutes in and we do get our next highlight. It's Jaden Richardson, who is at right back today with Darnell Fisher out suspended, which seems to be his only issue. He keeps getting suspended, but Jaden Richardson is a very capable backup and a very good player. It looks like they're trying to disallow this goal from Vinny here, but I thought he was definitely onside, so we will see. Hopefully it does get awarded. I thought it was fine, it is fine. It's 2-0 to us now. We are dominating this game as we expect, but what this is it's way better than last year. Great pass by Zavranek, by the way. But yes, way better than last year because it was these kind of games last season where we were dropping points. But this season, we've been so much better. We're winning all the games I expect us to win. Still getting battered by Celtic and Rangers, mind you, but we'll get there in time. We just need to make sure in our head-to-head matches against Hibs that we win, and also towards the end of the season when the table splits up to the point where you're playing the top 6 clubs, we need to make sure we pick up some wins there too. I'm hoping for a 3rd place finish. Who knows how far we'll go in the Conference League. I don't think 3rd place. Brilliant goal from Miofsky, just want to cover that. Brilliant finish from him, gets played through by Ross McCrory and powers it into the back of the net for 3-0 before half time. But yes, I don't know whether 3rd place right now is anything other than Conference League again. I think it might just be instant qualification as opposed to having to go through the playoffs, which is great. It will mean we're in it again next season. But I'm hoping as we start to do better in Europe and our teams get better in the Scottish divisions, I'll be hoping we can get some more places in the Champions League and Europa League because of the coefficients. If we can get that, there'll be more places up for grabs. We'll be in Europa League instead of Conference League. That's more prize money, and hopefully we'll keep growing as a club because of that. But right now, all we need to do is make sure we are finishing ahead of the clubs we want and stay in the European competitions. But I don't know why I paused the game, but we are in here. We might be in for a fourth. It's Vinny, back to Duke. It's blocked. He's got an empty goal. It's blocked again. Good play from the Motherwell defence, but nearly 4-0 before half-time, and we are dominating here. Still unable to fill out the stadium, though. A lot of empty seats, and for that reason, whenever I ask the board, they are not willing to expand the stadium whatsoever. Hopefully, as we start to play better football and get better players in, we can attract more of a crowd, but it seems like in these easier games, we don't get anyone. When we played Lazio, we had a full stadium and it was great. But in these kind of matches, it seems like only half the stadium actually gets filled up. But here we are going for our fourth goal. It's Vinny at the back post with the header into the arms of the Motherwell goalkeeper. 50 minutes in, pure dominance here. I expect us to win, and I'm hoping we can just get a clean sheet as well and make it a nice day at the park for everyone in an Aberdeen shirt today. Motherwell going to try and stop that though. They're going forward on the left-hand side with Brown. He cuts in. It's going to be a long shot. It's a brilliant long shot from Cornelius. Ends up in the back of the net. Maybe a goalkeeping error. I'm not too sure. It was a very powerful strike. Just as I talk about getting a clean sheet as well, it's typical that Motherwell then end up finding the back of the net. I just want to make sure no one gets injured or anything like that in this game. So let's sub some people off and keep some fresh legs on the pitch. We're going to be bringing on Hatem Ben Arfa, Alan Forrest, Ramadani, Jack McKenzie and Andres Caro as our 5 substitutes, just to get some fresh legs in, keep everyone happy, keep everyone fit, and these players that are playing a lot recently in European competition, like Duke, get to take a rest, but he's been very good for us recently. He's already outscored Miovski from last season. I'm sure he must have done. If not, he's very close to doing so. He feels like he's playing way better than Miovski was, and he finishes chances so well, Duke. It's that physical presence that he has. He's very quick, very strong when he gets in behind, and that really helps him in the Football Manager match engine. But 70 minutes in here, we've got another highlight. 4-1 would be ideal. If we concede again somehow, suddenly the game becomes a bit more difficult. At 3-2, we might start to panic, but hopefully we'll be fine here. Although this looks like it's got an error written all over it. There's a player in here, Slattery with a long shot over the bar. It was an empty goal, a pretty difficult shot, mind you, and we managed to get a little bit lucky there. Lack of communication between a centre-backs and a goalkeeper nearly led to a goal for the opposition, but we do manage to survive. Still 3-1. Probably need to up the tempo a little bit here and get an extra goal just to make sure, and McKenzie's going to try and do that on the left-hand side of the pitch. Bombing down. He's going to try and cut it back at the byline, I'd hope. He is going to do exactly that. That's what we want. He's won a penalty potentially. It looked like it was outside of the box. Don't really know why we're looking at the penalty here, because for me, nowhere near being a penalty, but I'll happily take it if they want to give us one. No penalty, as expected, but we do have a free kick in a dangerous position. But at this point, the next aim is just to win this match against Sofia. Obviously, it doesn't really mean too much to us in terms of where we finish in the group, because we're already qualified as first place, but it does keep that winning momentum up. At this point, we're on some kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 game unbeaten run, and the longer we can keep that going, the better. There's Zavronek trying to turn it in to an empty net. Doesn't quite work. We're going to go again, though, and McCory turns in back to Zavronek. Richardson takes the long shot, saved by the Motherwell goalkeeper, and this is a dominant performance if I've ever seen one. We've just been playing so well recently. Defensively, we're a lot more solid than we were before, and I think a lot of that, to be fair, is to do with Gagnon coming into the team. As much as I dissed him in the last episode, and I even replied to a comment where I said I was getting rid of him, but he's actually performed quite well when given the opportunity, so let's not say that I don't eat my words, because I do. I did take it back there, but somehow this Cornelius guy has scored another goal. It's a brilliant long shot, again, a powerful shot, down low. Roos can't really save it, he doesn't really have much hope of getting close to it, and now it's 3-2 with 6 minutes to go. If we were to somehow not get a win here, it'd be very disappointing. Motherwell really have done nothing other than this Cornelius guy taking a couple of long shots. He's a defensive midfielder, I don't know where he's pulled it out from, but now they're going again. Motherwell, oh no, surely not. Thank God Stewart was there to clear it off the line. We've actually nearly thrown this game away. Can we hold on? I really hope we can. We do not deserve not to win this. But 89 minutes, the highlight is over. Hopefully we see nothing else at this point. We can just see the game out nice and easy. 91, 92, 93. game over. We have won 3-2. We made it way more difficult than we needed to, but as long as we get that win, we keep that momentum up, and now we can move on 3 points ahead of a chasing pack in the league as well. Very good from us. Nowhere near those two teams at the top, mind you, but we just need to do our own thing, secure that third place spot, and I'll be very happy. This is what we want to see right before the start of our next game. We've just found out we've got an excellent intake coming through. Supposedly attacking midfielders, wingers of what we've got. I would have liked a centre-back maybe, but yeah, this looks pretty good to me. Another excellent intake. Golden generation potentially. That is what we're after. Mansour as well, since you last saw him, has decided that he wants to explore his options at the end of his contract, which is in a year and a half. So it might be time that we try and cash in on the 30-year-old before it becomes too late. But we're very close now to this Levski Sofia game. Again, we don't really need to win this, but I just like to, for the sake of keeping up that winning momentum. And also, I think every win we get in a European competition, we've been receiving about £500,000, which is pretty handy. In terms of where we are financially as well, we're sitting at around £4.2 million. We are probably spending a little bit too much in terms of wages and scouting budget and whatnot, but that's fine in my opinion, because we're going to sell some people off in the next window, get some people off of the wage bill, and it will all even itself out. So don't worry about that too much. As long as we're in the positive in the finances and that's steadily going up, that's what we're after. And the further we can go in this competition, the better. But anyway, let's try and get a win today. It's going to be Roos in goal. It's going to be Darnell Fisher at right back. It's going to be Gagnon and Caro. Is that right? You know what? Why not give Gagnon a rest today? We should probably give some game time to Sevelic, who I've just realised is injured, so I guess yes, we will keep Gagnon in the team. Mackenzie's going to start at left back. Ramadani, that's fine. We're getting a few younger players on the pitch as well, I think. Ramadani, Cafu and McCory in midfield, but up front it will be Duncan and Emsley, who's been playing for us recently off of the bench and not doing too bad, so we're going to give him the opportunity to start. Ryan Duncan has been fine this year as well. In terms of maybe bringing on another player, I might also try and put Connor Barron into the team just for the sake of having him there. We've also got Ross McCory, 1 yellow away from suspension. Darnell Fisher as well, 1 yellow away. Maybe for that reason we don't play them, because we don't want them ruled out of any of the knockouts, and it's no point wasting them here. So for that reason, let's take them off the pitch. Even if it means we might not get a win today, I'd rather have those players available for the knockouts, because they're both very, very key to us. But we're playing on a snowy pitch today, out in Levski Sofia. I don't know where are they from. I'm going to assume Bulgaria. Probably should have guessed they were from Bulgaria by the name of the fact that they had Sofia in the team, which is kind of why I thought it was Bulgaria, but I should have known better there. Need to up my geography skills, I think. But if they go close early on, do Sofia, who haven't really put themselves to shame in this group, considering the teams in there. I'm not saying we're far better than them or anything like that. But they've done quite well against teams like Lazio and Twente. They've given them a run for games, also picked up some points in this group, and might end up finishing above Lazio at this rate if Twente can beat them and they get something against us here. And I do believe in third place in the Conference League, you're not necessarily out. I think there's some kind of playoff system in play to decide if you stay in it. I'm not too sure. I just saw it pop up to say there was a draw for the knockout rounds coming up. Not knockout rounds, I mean playoff rounds. There's a draw for that coming up, which means I assume that somehow teams can stay in it, even if they finish third. But we don't need to worry about that, because we are easily going through in this group. So far, players are playing fine, 30 minutes in, chances fairly even. Possession's actually in Sofia's favour, but again, we're probably not used to playing in these kind of conditions, and they're used to it. So I'm going to say that plays a factor as well. Here's Mackenzie at left back though. Can he do anything special? He finds Ramadani in the middle, who hopefully will be able to play after January and won't lose his work permit, which by the way is when you'll see us again, sometime after the January transfer window, probably for the knockout rounds of the Conference League. That could be quite a fun little adventure for us all to go on to see if we can make it through. But there's Adam Emsley doing very well, takes a shot. It's a good save by the goalkeeper for Sofia there, but he does do very well to pinch that back and take the shot. And we'll try and follow in with the corner. Connor Barron on the set piece. Number 8 for us. Captain tonight as well by the looks of it, which is pretty cool considering he's a homegrown player as well. And also he's doing very well this year when we have used him. Developing nicely. Can play in all 3 of those central midfield roles that we use, which is great. But first half, nothing too special, nothing too terrible. Let's just say we're happy. If we were to draw away to him here, I wouldn't mind it too much. Time's ticking away in the second half though. Not too much is happening. It's probably about time we make a few changes. Again, save people's legs, get some fresh legs on. Duke's not having the best of games. Let's get him off for Miofsky. We'll also get Alan Forrest on for Adam Emsley. Dale Stevens can have an appearance appearance, why not? We'll also bring on Castillo and Jack Milne, I think, who I don't think we've used at all this year, but it'd be good for him to get a little bit of a run out. Again, even if we end up losing this now because of these subs, I'm not all that bothered. They've had a good game, to be fair to them, Sofia, dominating us for possession, which doesn't happen often, so I can only assume it's got something to do with the quality of the pitch here and the environment we're playing in, but who knows? Here is Vostov, though, for Levski. They're going forward now in the 75th. They're looking for a goal. We're looking for a winner too. Someone's going to get it at some point, I feel. I don't think this is going to end 0-0. Hopefully we can stay defensively solid, but it looks like they're through on goal. Roos tries to stretch himself out to make the save, but he can't. It's put under his legs. They're 1-0 up now. A good finish from their striker in the 75th minute. I would be interested in knowing if they are somehow going to make it through because of this. Where is the league table? Oh, I was about to click on it then, just before it ended, and it looks like Sofia are going to have another highlight. Unless we can somehow steal a draw out of this. Oh, we might do. They're playing it at the back very, very dangerously. We have won it back. It's Ryan Duncan now. He takes the shot. He scores. Unfortunate for the opposition there, but a brilliant finish from Ryan Duncan, I must say. He's put that right in the top left corner. No stopping that. That's 1-1 on the night. It looks like we're going to get a draw out of this after all. If we do go and check out that league table, though, how are Lazio doing? Did they win? They did win, so it looks like they're beating Twente currently. They'll be going through. Sofia, unfortunately, won't be making it, and Twente also knocked out. But we've done our job in this Conference League group. Drawn 1, lost 1, and won 4. That's very impressive. We leave Bulgaria a very happy side, all the way back to Livingston for our next match, only 2 days later. But we're delighted with that, and it now means we're through. God knows who we're going to play. Let's have a look at some of the teams that are left in. Saying that, though, I do think we have the Europa League teams who lose, then get dropped down into the Conference League. So I'm sure we are going to be facing up against some pretty challenging opposition as this competition goes on. But we've got the likes of West Ham in the competition, Besiktas, Lille. This is a pretty easy group. I wouldn't mind playing any of them, although saying that, Cluj have won every single game. Galatasaray, AZ Alkmaar, Valencia. But so far, this season has gone very well. The board are delighted. The fans, not so much somehow, because we're not competing with Rangers too well, which is a pretty hard job, mind you. But we're doing well in all of our competitions. We've got a Golden Generation youth intake coming in. We've got transfer plans, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this season can be a very successful one. A bit of a longer episode than normal. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button, comment down below, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you, and goodbye.